Colleen Hoover. Then he managed to convince Blake Lively to star in it with him, and all hell broke loose.
Blake Lively is facing, let's break it down.
The girl, on the other hand, seems to be Team Blake, if there are even teams to be had.
Now, Liz was at the premiere last night.
I am very pleased to announce that it's finally over. It's finally dead and over because of Blake Lively, the actress.
Blake Lively's legal battle just took a dramatic new twist. Already locked in a tense courtroom fight with Justin Baldoni, fresh revelations have emerged that could completely change the case. From leaked messages to accusations of falsified evidence, the situation is spiraling fast. But the biggest shock? A resurfaced video allegedly capturing Blake admitting to lying, something that could shatter her credibility in court. With mounting pressure and key allies distancing themselves, can she still navigate her way out of this scandal?
Okay, she went to bat for her lady, Blake Lively. She thought Blake was telling the truth. Other women supported Blake. You start to see that sort of momentum come, that avalanche of support, and you think you're on the right side of the story. A lot of people kind of go with the wind, and you know, we all fall victim to that. I've been on the wrong side of stories before. I have, absolutely. And I own up to it afterwards. I don't really think I delete any videos. I say, yeah, I got it wrong. Here's why I thought that way, and here's what I'm going to try to do in the future to change my opinion. Now, if it comes out, Blake Lively subpoenas Justin Baldoni, some crazy piece of evidence comes out that we didn't have before, and I change my mind, I'll own up to it, and I'll just continue to try to find the truth. And I think most of my audience will appreciate that authenticity.
A bombshell video has surfaced, casting major doubt on the carefully maintained image of Blake Lively. If the claims in this footage are accurate, they directly contradict her stance in the ongoing legal fight with Baldoni. Is this just an unfortunate slip, or does it expose a deeper pattern of deception?
Colleen Hoover. Then he managed to convince Blake Lively to star in it with him, and all hell broke loose. She claims he sexual harassed her, and then by the time they premiered the movie, they weren't even speaking to each other. She made him stay in the basement, and Ryan Reynolds turned on him too. And then she claimed that he unleashed a bad PR campaign against her, and he claims none of that is true. There was absolutely no harassment. Those are made-up claims. She wrested his movie away from him and decided to try to hurt him with petty, made-up, out-of-context complaints when he pushed back even in the mildest way, and that she and her husband are bullies, and now it's resulted in vicious cross litigations against both of them. The New York Times is being sued for defamation by Baldoni through his lawyer Brian Friedman, who's also my attorney, who's been on the show, and it's as vicious as it can get. He certainly wasn't at Ryan Reynolds level fame, never mind Blake Lively, and she bullied him into giving her the movie where she did her own cut. They released the cut of the movie. He didn't even get to see it. He was the director of the film, the producer of the film, the guy who got the rights to the film, the one who's supposed to be in control. He didn't even get to see it. He was in the basement at his own movie premiere. And then she had the nerve, because she had 2 minutes of bad publicity when the film hit, to come out and try to blame it all on him. None of it was just due to the fact that she seems like a rather shitty person. Your thoughts?
I mean, it's wild. She just pretty much said the whole problem here. It's like, if you hire the plumber and he climbs out from under the sink and says, now let's talk about how you've decorated the place. Like, what are you talking about, man?
Yeah.
I gave you a job.
How dare they hire an actor to act? You know?
Right.
Deal with a little
And
bit
she tries
of
to make it
this
sound
on
like
set
a
here at
female
Ruthless.
empowerment thing, like they just wanted me to be an actor. Well, yes, I mean, maybe someday you could be a producer or a screenwriter, but no one contracted with you to do that here. And that's another allegation, Holmes, is that she started to rewrite scenes that nobody had asked her to rewrite.
That's just wild to me. I mean, that is, for the plumber thing, is absolutely perfect. I mean, you hired somebody to do a job, and they're like, well, hold on a second. I've got a different vision for your toilet.
Right.
I'd like to create a bidet.
Here's the other piece of it. One other piece of it. So she is accused of having turned the whole cast.
Blake Lively's legal troubles have just escalated. Yet another lawsuit has been filed against her, piling onto the growing stack of legal challenges she's facing. With new allegations emerging, the question remains, Is she being unfairly targeted, or is her past finally catching up? One thing is clear, her legal team is in for a battle.
Blake Lively is facing, let's break it down. Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signor. It's Wednesday and we went live because we have so much to catch up on. I'm going to try my best. I don't have as much time today. Wednesdays usually are my off day from being live. But Kim's going to be live after us, so go support It's Kim. We're going to join her over there in a minute. But Kim, I wanted to break. We're going to go through the timeline again. I owe part 2 of trying to breeze through the timeline. We're going to get there. But first, this dropped. This story never ends, Kim. Just nonstop lawsuits and fights and words. And now the infamous from the shadows, Jed Wallace, is stepping up from Street Relations. And many people were assuming he would be included in Blake's updated lawsuit. That him and Brian Friedman potentially are names that have been carried around of like, who else is she going to include? And this infamous Jed Wallace character seemed to be one. Well, looks like Jed's not holding back. He's fighting back first. And nothing we reported on was false it was all watching Blake in her interview and watching Blake at this junket and watching Blake sell a booze brand. All of those things are truthful things. They're not made up crap and everything else. So we have to prove that Wallace was actually out there engaging in illegal activity. And then plus, Kim, I had a challenge, he didn't sign that agreement. He didn't sign the agreement when they made this deal that, Wayfair has to follow, blah, 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 blah. Technically, I guess he's working for Wayfair. That's what they're going to try to do. But, I don't know. All of this seems a lot more complicated than the narrative that Blake keeps trying to spill. And now Wallace is out there fighting for his name, saying that Blake doubled down on her conduct by asking the judge to authorize the taking of his deposition, by falsely accusing him of being a subcontractor to a company.
Once a vocal supporter of Blake Lively, best-selling author Colleen Hoover has now quietly withdrawn her public endorsement. This unexpected decision has fueled speculation. Has Hoover lost faith in Blake's side of the story, or is she simply trying to avoid the controversy? Either way, it's a significant loss for Lively, who has relied on high-profile backing to defend her reputation.
The Blake photos deleted. Colleen Hoover reactivated Instagram, but all of Blake and It Ends With Us posts are gone. Now, I don't know if they're all still gone, but here's the one that I believe Candace Owens shared that is now back up. So she said, as Blake's friends and sisters for over 20 years. So Colleen Hoover shared what other actors who were friends with Blake shared. So this is a sharing of that, but it was deleted, which, is telling. As Blake's friends and sisters for over 20 years, we stand with her in solidarity as she fights back against the reported campaign waged to destroy her reputation. Throughout the filming of It Ends With Us, we saw her summon the courage to ask for a safe workplace for herself and colleagues on set. We are appalled to read the evidence of a premeditated and vindictive effort that ensued to discredit her voice.
Blake Lively was once one of Hollywood's most adored stars, but now, even those closest to her seem to be stepping away. It's not just fans distancing themselves. Industry insiders, celebrities, and former allies are all pulling back. Could this be the beginning of the unraveling of Blake Lively's carefully crafted public persona?
He's not saying that Blake Lively herself made these statements. He's saying that people in her camp did this. And the people in her camp made these statements on her behalf because they wanted to destroy Justin Baldoni. Some of the reasoning for that, they say, is that she was super angry with him and wanted to take him down because he had not let her take control of the entire film. Blake Lively tried to take over. She tried to take over the film, elbow him out, and the disintegration of their relationship. They were co-stars. He was supposed to be directing. He says he essentially got pushed out of that role, and the two of them ended up with him trying desperately to appease her. She refused, and finally he wasn't even allowed at the premiere of the film he was supposed to be directing. So that's how serious it was. Baldoni later received word that during the premiere of his movie, Deadpool and Wolverine, Reynolds approached Baldoni's agency, namely an executive at WME, and expressed his deep disdain for Baldoni.
Baldoni's legal team has just made a game-changing move, revealing text messages they claim prove Blake Lively launched a defamation campaign against him. If these messages are legitimate, they could dismantle Lively's defense and destroy her credibility. Is this the final blow to her case?
Gabrielle has not seen this yet, but I have. And it's a new video of Blake Lively at some conference a couple of years ago where she was it's like a women's empowerment conference that she was given some stage time at. And it's like, talk to us about why you're so strong, Blake. And she had some very interesting things to say, given the nature of the
Given what's happening now.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's unbelievable, actually.
Hit me with it.
I will. Of course I'll hit you with it. Also, you guys,
He's not going to yet.
doesn't Gabrielle look so pretty? Look at how pretty Gabrielle is
Thanks.
today.
I just did my makeup for y'all.
So
you're welcome.
pretty. Also, we have a big announcement, you guys.
We do.
We are going to start streaming every single Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 10:30 a.m. Central. So
Come join us.
you can look forward to that. That's going to be a new thing for the next 10 years.
The most shocking twist yet. Newly uncovered footage allegedly captures Blake Lively admitting to lying. If this video is authentic, it could completely derail her case and cast doubt on everything she's asserted so far. Could this be the moment her entire defense crumbles?
High school graduate and former cheerleader Blake Lively filed subpoenas against Justin Baldoni and many other parties, wanting a lot of information. She is needing receipts. The former B-lister has filed subpoenas not just against Baldoni, but also the billionaire co-founder of his production company, Steve Sarowitz, his producing partner, Jamie Heath, his publicist, Jen Abel, his crisis PR expert, Melissa Nathan, that digital guru, Jed Wallace, and even more people that work at his production company, Wayfarer Studios. Plus, she's filed subpoenas against phone providers, email providers, that they bragged and laughed at how negatively the narrative had shifted against Miss Lively. Pause. He never did that. His publicist and his crisis PR expert did that privately, amongst the two of them. He had nothing to do with that. In fact, they included in their amended lawsuit repeated receipts where he was rising above it all. He was way cooler, calmer, collected, and kinder than I would have been against this Z-lister. Back to the spokesperson for the Khaleesi wannabe, quote,
The legal showdown between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni is intensifying. Baldoni is now pushing back against subpoenas filed by Lively's legal team, raising speculation. If he's so confident, why resist? Is he hiding something, or is there more to this legal battle than meets the eye?
Pleased to announce that it's finally over. It's finally dead and over because of Blake Lively, the actress. She has personally come down and ended modern feminism for me. And she did this by just being a modern feminist, also known as just generally being unbearable in today's world. We're going to talk about that. Plus, we have Rabbi Shmuley. Yes, my friend or foe. He's back in the news because he's apparently filed, I'm not kidding, guys, an FBI report against me. I'm going to go to prison for a very long time. And in other funny news, the DNC happened. Let's talk about that. That's what we have coming up on Candace.
Blake Lively has built her brand on female empowerment, but critics now claim she's weaponizing feminism to dodge accountability. Rather than addressing the allegations, some argue she's manipulating public opinion by portraying herself as the victim. Could this controversy permanently tarnish her standing in the feminist movement?
Speaking at a Forbes Power Women Summit.
Yeah.
And she talked about...
She flexed her muscles.
Oh, did she? She definitely did. Talked about being hired as an actor, but wanting more, and how she secretly tries to take more power.
Disarm people with her beauty, and then laser in with her creative vision.
When I would show up on a set, I knew that they just wanted me to show up and look cute and stand on a little pink sticker where I'm supposed to go and say what I'm supposed to say. But I also knew that like that wasn't fulfilling for me, that I wanted to be a part of the storytelling, that I wanted to be a part of the.
Another old video of Blake Lively has resurfaced, and this one might be the most damaging yet. If the footage contradicts her courtroom claims, it could make it nearly impossible for her to maintain her defense. This is a critical moment, one that could completely alter public perception. Intro 11. Blake Lively's legal troubles are piling up. More lawsuits, leaked messages exposing defamation, and even longtime allies like Colleen Hoover distancing themselves. But the most devastating blow, a resurfaced video allegedly showing her admitting to lying. If Baldoni's legal team's latest evidence is as damning as they suggest, Blake's entire defense could collapse. Intro 12. With her credibility hanging by a thread and new shocking twists still emerging, the real question is, how much more damage can Blake Lively withstand before this legal battle finally reaches its breaking point?